First order of business is the approval of the September 26, 2023 minutes. Member Salzer, Member Coates. Any questions, comments, corrections? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Ayes have it. Next is informational items. We'll move to receive and file. I will talk on one unless there's any questions. So the last one is the issuance of the Tri-County River Valley Development Authority revenue bonds on behalf of Pleasant Valley Public Water District. So why you're seeing it on this is I'm the county board's appointment to the bonding authority. Each local unit of government that a bond is issued in their area has the opportunity to cancel that bond if they so choose. This was a project that was brought forth by Member Rosenbaum for a new water tower in Pleasant Valley, asking for some financing opportunities, and TRIB does a double tax exempt bonding authority that had the resources to bond counsel and everything else. So the plan is for that to come to TRIBDA for approval, but if this board so chooses, they could take up action to cancel that bond. Very rarely happens, but it is within the state statute to allow that, so we wanted to put it as an informational item for the board to discuss. Member Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had a question on the ARPA plan summary, and I did give Scott a heads up that I was going to ask about this. We do have down there IT and IT projects, and I know that we had talked in when we had our committee of the whole regarding the ARPA dollars that we were going to take that out of general funds. So Scott, can you cover that, or we were going to take it out of reserves? Thank you.
Sure thing, Ms. Williams. So this is on page 12 in your packet. You'll see the fourth row in the table at the bottom says IT cybersecurity projects. When you adopted the budget for FY23 a year ago, you appropriated funds out of ARPA for cyber. So far this year, and earlier this year, you actually approved a contract for a cybersecurity audit to be conducted. Next month, when the Finance Committee convenes, we'll put on the agenda a closed session for you to convene as your audit committee to receive audit results. Audit results or audit reports is an allowable reason for you to go into closed session. Just a high level, nothing materially wrong with our cybersecurity audit, but we don't like to talk about cybersecurity in the open, lest we give those that might try and either provide some type of phishing attack or other cybersecurity attack any leg up. So next month when the Finance Committee convenes, we'll bring that report forward to you and also then share with you our recommendations on things we need to do to implement what's in the audit findings or to address the audit findings. And that's what the balance of this appropriation from FY23 was always intended to do. So we did an audit. We're going to report that audit, and then that audit has findings that has solutions tied to them. We'll use these dollars to implement those solutions based on, obviously, the committee's feedback. Additionally, if you recall earlier in the year, or maybe even was late last year, we awarded a contract to Bishop Brothers to remodel the public defender space, which we heard at Mr. Salzer's committee yesterday. Public defender is now moving into that space, so I would expect an open house to be sometime here in the near future, but also to remodel the IT space. What was originally in the project budget and what was in the bid award were two different things, and we used reserves from the IT fund to pay that difference. So the bids came back higher than the budget estimate and what was appropriated, and so we covered that gap by taking funds from the IT reserves. I don't have the list in front of me, but there are a number of IT-related capital improvements that are in the FY24 budget that you approved a couple weeks ago, and those are funded from the reserves of the IT fund. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Seeing none, we'll move to the resolutions. First resolution is the Peoria Area Convention and Visitors Bureau investment. Is there a motion to put this on the floor? Member Phelan, Member Duncan.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If the committee recalls, this summer we had J.D. D'Alfonso, who's the Convention and Visitors Bureau CEO, come and present or pitch to the committee why there's value for Peoria County government to invest in the CVB. The direction that the committee gave us out of that presentation was to bring forward an agreement with the Convention and Visitors Bureau that is in essence 3 one-year contracts. Each contract will have a funding commitment from the county of $25,000, and then there will be obviously performance milestones to be able to move to the next year. From a budgetary standpoint, there was money appropriated in FY23 and in FY24 to cover that. So we would expect the agreement to start pending board's approval in here yet this year. So that year one payment would be pretty straight away. We'd obviously have performance metrics that they'd come back and report to this committee on. And then we'd recommend on whether or not we move forward for the year 2 of the agreement. Should you choose to do that operationally, there is money budgeted to do that so that we don't have to do a budget amendment. It'll be purely about your satisfaction with those performance metrics from the Convention and Visitors Bureau. And then we'll go from there. Happy to answer any questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions? Member Renaud.
Who sets those metrics? Is it us or is it them or a combination?
So I think it'll be a joint discussion between myself and Mr. D'Alfonso. I'll obviously include Chairman Dillon in those conversations so that he is got a good handle on what those are, and that on behalf of the board and the committee, we'll be able to set those metrics so that you're satisfied with what they are.
Will we be provided a copy of those?
So Member Renaud, I would expect, like we've been doing recently, instead of extending long-term deals, that JD and his team would have to come in and make a presentation to this board, not have anything to vote on in that meeting, let the board hear what what the Convention and Visitor Bureau has been up to, have a report that is given to all of us, and then have a month to digest it before we would vote on something like that. So that's how I would envision it, and I think that's how staff would envision it too. So the 23 money that was budgeted, we're going to get for 24, and we would already have money in the 24 budget that he'll come sometime in the fall of next year or late summer, make a presentation, and then the following month, just like this, we would have something to vote on if the board so decided to choose the metrics. Because the original agreement called for a 3-year, $150,000 contract, and we felt it was important to try to have it in 1-year renewables. So it'll be kind of up to the board to decide after they give the presentation, plus some sort of data proving what they've done.
But we'll provide metrics prior to their presentation of what they've done, right? That we can compare.
Right. They've got similar contracts with other units of local government, mostly municipal governments, that have similar metrics. So that obviously will be a framework that we'll use as a starting point.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just interested to know what our expectations are.
Any other questions? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Ayes have it. Next is the strategic plan foundational elements. Is there a motion to put this on the floor? Member Duncan? Member Kelch?
All All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So if everyone recalls at the July board meeting, the strategic plan was adopted. That plan had 5 strategic priority areas and 19 strategic goals or action items. The strategic priority areas include infrastructure maintenance and improvements, community investment, communication and marketing, financial stability, workforce and organizational development, and regional and intergovernmental collaboration. But it did not include what we call foundational elements, so a vision statement, a mission statement, those types of components. If you recall, Chairman Dillon asked members Blair, Duncan, and Hare to be a part of a work group that also included Superintendent Kreider, myself, and Assistant County Administrator Musselman. As I noted, the problem that we did not bring forward was the mission, vision, and value statements. Those foundational elements were that a board had previously adopted were over 20 years old. So that means that they were outdated. They really weren't reflective of the organization and the community today. They also, for those of you that have been on the board for some amount of time, because they used to be on the wall in this room and in the conference room, they were very lengthy. No one could ever remember exactly what they said, and they were never really universally accepted by the entire organization. So the task that the work group set upon was to create new foundational elements, and we settled on 5 elements: a vision statement, a mission statement, values, core behaviors, and strategic lenses. For the purposes of the rest of this presentation, is in your packet, you'll see 3 slides for each one of those 5 components. So there'll be a slide that defines what that component is, or that element is, what it actually says, and then what it means in terms of going forward. So a common theme across what it means for each one of these 5 elements is going to be something that is short, is easily remembered, and communicated. A vision statement has value-based principles. It's something that we aspire to be at some point in the future. For our purposes, 20 years. So we aren't there today, is what a vision statement is, but that's where we want to be in the future. And I will add that as the work group went through and met multiple times to prepare these, they started with work that the senior management team had done in the summer of 2022, and then made modifications to that. A great amount of appreciation to not just the work group and all their time and effort, but also the senior management team for the work that they did a summer ago. So the vision statement that we've come up with and are recommending is Peoria County is a flourishing, vibrant community. What does that mean? That means in 20 years, the organization is trusted and transparent as a partner in the community. It means that we are innovative in community building, we serve the public, we work collaboratively and efficiently. For our residents and our population that we serve, it means that we're a safe and happy place, that there's pride in our community, that families can thrive in our community, and that residents are diverse and serve each other. For the business community, it means that there's opportunities to succeed, and that innovations and innovators are empowered. And in terms of the future, it means that we're sustainable, that there's a healthy environment, we're diverse, and we're thriving. Mission statement is something that defines and frames our core services, or our primary services. And the group came up with Peoria County is committed to serving all. What does that mean? You're going to see, again, a little bit of overlap with the vision statement, because that's intentional, but to the organization. So internally, that means that we work as teams, and we work well as teams, and we're transparent. It means that we provide quality services and have a stewardship of resources, and that our policies are aligned to that vision statement. For the residents that we serve, it means that there's equitable opportunities to live, work, and play, that we feel safe, and that their lives are enhanced, and that we believe the public resources are used for their benefit. For our business community, it means that there's equitable opportunities for businesses to grow, that we've got opportunities for innovation and collaboration. And for the future, it means that we're community-centered, we're sustainable, accessible, and flexible. Values define what the organization stands for. So it influences our organizational culture. It drives how and why we do things. The strategic plan might change. The mission and vision may or may not change over time, but the values are always going to be there. Those are really what we are at our heart. Back in 20 years ago, there was a catchy acronym that our values represented. The words that the team came up with this time did not create some catchy acronym, so they're just shown alphabetically. But they are empowering, ethical, inclusive, innovative, and transparent. And what do those mean? So empowering, it means employees and the public believe that Peoria County serves them in a manner that provides an opportunity for growth. Ethical means accountability for the proper and efficient use of public funds and resources. Inclusive means providing accessible programs and employment opportunities for all members of the public. Innovative is we're seeking new opportunities to serve and develop our skills, resources, and businesses. And transparent, committed to engaging in open, honest, and respectful practices in communication. Core behaviors are how we operationalize those values. They help define our performance expectations. And here the team came up with informed teams, a passion to serve, and a desire to connect. What do those mean? For informed teams, it means that we lead by example and we seek out continuous improvement. A passion to serve means that we're receptive and accessible to all members of the public. And a desire to connect means that we're responsive to the community in a manner that fosters relationships. The last component or foundational element are strategic lenses. These are the perspectives from which a strategic priority, one of those 5 strategic priorities or one of those 19 goals should be viewed, as well as some questions that we maybe should ask before we implement some strategy or some action plan item. They will give us perspective on a variety of things. So examples of a strategic lens and in a question form could be, how are we going to pay for this? Is what we're proposing sustainable? How does this impact everyone in the community? Have we sought feedback from key stakeholders? Are we including the right partners? Or is it the most effective solution? So those are examples. Here is what the team came up with. That is, 1, is there a collective impact? 2, is there a better way? And 3rd, is there strategic alignment? As it relates to each one of those and what they mean, is there a collective impact? Were we data-driven, and is the solution evidence-based? Is the solution equitable? Is the solution sustainable, and does it achieve stewardship for financial, people, and the planet? So sustainable is a broad topic there. Did we solicit feedback? And you can see that pretty consistent. Number 2, is there a better way? So were we innovative in our solution? Is the solution effective and efficient? And again, did we solicit feedback? And then as it relates to, is it strategically aligned? Do we have aligned, is the solution that we're bringing forward to you to consider, is the solution aligned with our vision statement, our mission statement, and those values? So several good conversations and meetings by the work group and the team. Mr. Chairman, I am very proud of the work that we've done, very proud of the work that the senior management team got us to to use as a starting point and a framework. I don't know if Member Duncan or Member Hare have anything to add, but I would be happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Member Ricker.
Yeah, I don't have any direct questions. My first viewing of this was over the weekend when we got the packet. I think there's a lot of good content in here, and it's the foundation and direction that we as the board should use to direct the county. I guess my only ask would be, since as one board member I've only seen it for a few days and I haven't really had the time to go through it, is to consider delaying the actual vote so we can make a good decision a month. But that's just one person. I'll let others ask or make comments.
Questions? And Steve did ask this morning for a motion to defer potentially, and there's no reason that we can't. It's not going to be the end of the world. So, I mean, if one member would like to spend a little more time with it, I don't see it being the end of the world for us to defer. So I would just ask for Steve, if you want that to happen, for a motion to defer, and then for 1 month with a second.
I'll second it.
Okay. Motion.
Any questions to the first vote to motion to defer for 1 month? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Now back to the original, just to defer it for 1 month, so it will be back as a resolution next month. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Ayes have it. Next is our standing committee agenda reports. First up is Chairman Salzer.
Thank you. We had 6 resolutions this week, or I should say this month, and the first one, as you can see, has to do with the Maxwell Road Bridge, the rehab of it, and this project is going to start probably next year, as soon as the weather permits. It's going to be a $4 million project, and we've got to put in some matching funds of $515,000. If you look at our particular report, there's 3 figures in there, and the first one, which we're going to get federal funds by way of the Illinois Specialty Bridge Program to the tune of $1 million. Let's see, $1,986,000, I think it is, and that's because Amy and her staff applied to the Illinois to IDOT, and they granted this amount to us, and actually it was $968,000. So you take that $1,968,000 and our matching funds, and then another local group of federal funds that were available to us, $517,000, and that's where we come up with the $4 million. Now that bridge, it needs to be rehabbed because the expansion joints are not very good at each end of the bridge, and we know that there's cracks in the deck, and also there's a deterioration of the beams, and there's other problems out there. So we're going to use this $4 million not only to rehab the bridge, but it'll also do some of the work at each end of the bridge, like a partial back to Route 116, and then also on down to the Fauber, F-A-U-B-E-R, road. So that's that particular one. The second one of our resolutions has to do with the lowering of the speed limit on Voorhees Road, and is out in the Kickapoo and the Radnor townships. Now, the speed limit that was posted was 55 miles an hour. And I know just by my walking in the city, and I've seen some traffic traveling, far over our speed limit, especially over there on Sterling and so forth. Well, I can imagine what 55 miles an hour is for those people who are walking along a two-lane highway. It's pretty dangerous and so forth. But actually, the study revealed that they really should reduce it down to 40 miles an hour, but the IDOT policy would not allow that. And I think both road commissioners, one of them, of course, Danny Kelch, and the other road commissioner, who I don't know from Radnor, but they both agreed that they would settle with 45. Now, whether or not we can get it lowered to 40 later on, I can't answer that. Let's see. The third resolution, Willano's sidewalk. Most of you have heard about that because the time that we did that project off of that intersection out there at Allen Road, that also was an improvement we made. It was a joint project, of course, with the city on the engineering and the sidewalks. And we had already appropriated our share, we thought, at $55,000. Now we're talking about the area of Willano's between Allen Road and University. And after the final bill came in, we have to add another $1,129.75 to pay the bill for these sidewalks on Willano's. The next resolution we had was another one on speed limit, Mossville Road. Mossville Road, or the area like from what we would call Knoxville, the city people, the country people probably call it Route 40. They actually had an upper area and a lower area. And that particular road goes all the way to Route 29. Now the study that was conducted by our highway department, they actually decided that two different speed limits, because the lower area was 40 and the upper area by closer to Route 40 was 45. The area that we're looking at is a stretch that we're going to change the speed limit, and it's near Pawnee Road, and this will be all 40 miles an hour from Route 40 and over 229. So it's going to be uniform. The next, our next resolution was, let me make a comment. On that Mossville Road, and practically everybody, Jimmy may be the only one, as well as me, but our county board is responsible for adopting Mossville Road. Now, maybe I've been lax, but the last time that was cleaned up, I think, well, I know I'm getting off the subject a little bit, but I'm going to tell you, next spring, we're probably going to have a cleanup day. Now, that is in Brian Elsesser's district. Poor old Brian, he couldn't even come and help us the last time we cleaned it up because he was doing some spring farming. But every one of you, get your work clothes on because sometime next spring, because we have adopted that road, we got to be good citizens just like the other people that volunteer to help us. And we're going to go out there. Hey, we had Bob Baedo and Tommy O'Neill and all those guys, out there getting in the ditches and cleaning that place up. So be prepared next spring. I'll make a point to pick out a day for you. Okay, the next resolution. I know I'm talking too long. The IDOT County Motor Fuel Tax Maintenance. Amy came to us, and of course, she's the one that asked for our support of the maintenance material, how much she's going to have to spend this year for such things as oil and asphalt and gravel and all the different items that they've got to have, salt and so forth. And so that has been, a resolution was adopted, $3 million. Now, she also will come back in a few months, and she's only got a few months, and she will say who are the people that they're going to go to for those. In other words, those other people will submit the bids what they can buy their particular product for. The last one is something that everybody knows that we've had problems with, the jail. So they're looking at hiring an architect. We're going to hire this architect at the recommendation of Scott and Sheriff Watkins and Mark Little. They made the study. They just like our county engineer, when they hired the engineers, we don't pick we do pick the engineers because we approve of what they recommend to us, but they don't bid it out to any engineering firm. Well, that's the same thing with an architect. Now, what that architect's going to do, and there was two of them that they studied, and they were recommending a CGL management out of Chicago. And it's going to be $275,000. But that money is already, here because we did not do a particular project on personnel and so forth a while back. The thing that this company is going to do, they're going to make a study of this jail, and they're going to try and help us look at what we need in the future. And there's about 4 points, and I'm not going to go through all those for you, but if you read on page 104 of the infrastructure agenda here, you can easily see what they're going to, how they're going to serve us, and so forth. But this is going to be our roadmap for the jail, and we hope we can ward off some problems and correct some of the things that we have problems with out there at our county jail. Questions?
Questions? I think you covered it all, Coach. No questions? All right, thank you. Next up is Chairwoman Duncan, Ways and Means.
I'm going to see if I can match Phil. All right, the Ways and Means Committee, we had one resolution, the monthly delinquent tax for October 2023, and it consisted of 7 conveyances, 1 surrender, and 1 reconveyance, and it did pass. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairwoman Duncan. Next up is land use. Do you want me to cover it, Linda?
No,
Okay,
I
got it.
don't. Thank you, though. Chairman Duncan, land use has 3 special use cases. One is a kennel on Route 91, approved by the ZBA. The second is a solar project on West Grange Hall Road, approved by the ZBA. And the third is an accessory dwelling, and that was also approved, and that's in Kickapoo Township, and that was also approved by the ZBA. The fourth resolution is to accept a $239,000 grant, which will help us demolish 8 dwellings.
Thank you, Vice Chair Daley. Next up is County Operations, Chairman Ricker.
County Operations did not have any resolutions. Thank you.
Next up, Chairman Renault, County Health.
County Health did not have any other resolutions. Beckett did go over the solid waste management plan update for us, though.
Perfect. Any questions? Seeing none, we're next to public comment. Anyone can speak, but I do have 2 cards up here. First, Joyce Blumenshine, and it will be limited to 5 minutes per individual. Yeah.
Thank you very much, and board members. Hold on, Joyce. Can you show microphone here? Take 2. Thank you very much, Chairman Dillon, committee members, Joyce Blumenshine, here just to give a quick update. First, I was very glad to be here today about your vision statement, and the sustainability is really, really important. I'm so glad I was here. Quick update, last week on Thursday night, Henry County Board passed 15 yes, 1 abstain, resolution for a moratorium on CO2 pipelines. They have great concerns, and that county, as you well know, probably in Galva, has a very large ethanol plant, and people were there from that plant, so I just want to mention that to you. Today, quick update, we have had 18 qualified comments submitted to the Illinois Commerce Commission. Today was the last day to get in our testimony experts. Some of them are experts in CO2 pipelines, some in mine subsidence pertinent to Peoria County, some citizens, landowners, health experts. So those have been filed. If you wish to look at the file, I'm sure you will be appraised at some time, but it's ICC case 230475. We continue to pursue that with our volunteer group and fundraising. And in closing, I just want to commend you. Other counties are looking at resolutions for moratoriums. I realize your county has taken a major step in filing to intervene. We do thank you. But the citizens see a moratorium just to hit the pause button until the federal regulations are updated is critical. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joyce. Next up is Kimberly Strack.
Hi there. Thank you for having us. Hello, I'm Kimberly Strack, and I just wanted to say thank you for intervening with the CO2 pipeline. I just wanted to talk to you about the CO2 pipeline, and I'm asking that you vote to adopt a moratorium. Some of you may know that some of you may have the notion that this is just a piece of paper, but this piece of paper will really help to place a pause on the entire pipeline project so that more research can be done and more safety protocols can be put in place. Please choose to protect our future, their future, and their children's future. This is a generational decision. Please do not take it lightly. Thank you for your time, and thank you for helping guide Peoria.
Anybody else that would like to speak under public comment? Seeing none. Anything under miscellaneous? I would just like to say what I said yesterday in coaches committee. Every day take for granted. Yesterday, a member of Laborers Local 165 went to work, was not really going to go to work. He had some family events, but please take the time. I know everybody gets in a hurry, but just be mindful. Stay off your phones when you're driving, especially when you see orange barrels. Not that you should ever have your phone on, but a gentleman is not going home to his family that has spent 20 years working on the road. There was an accident there in the morning. Member Rulin told us that on his way home last night, there was another accident in roughly the same area. People not paying attention on the roads. And I also say this not only for the workers for those construction companies, but we do have township road commissioners that have workers every single day on the side of the roads. And we have our own highway department that has individuals every day. And those are very dangerous jobs. You don't think they are, but they are. And these accidents should never happen. But unfortunately, we still do because people are in too big of a hurry. So condolences to the family that the husband and father won't be returning anymore. And hopefully bring some awareness that slow down and pay attention, and every day don't take it for granted. So just wanted to reiterate that. Anything else under miscellaneous? If not, meeting adjourned. Thank you.